Okay, you guys, so we're going to take a look at these three lovely new watercolor and create rainbow high dolls. We're going to check and see if their hair and their clothes dye any differently, better or worse, than the first three rainbow high color and create dolls. And we might try the watercolor gimmick. I haven't seen a whole lot about it, honestly, as far as if people have used it or not. So I'm really curious. I got these before I even went on vacation. They arrived at the house. It actually took like a week, almost a week and a half for them to get here after I ordered them. So they showed up right before I was leaving for vacation, and I didn't have time to dye them. But I'm going to show you right quick what colors I plan to dye them. Now, really quickly, this lovely brown-eyed girl, she's going to end up with brown hair. I know I constantly say I have too many girls with brown hair, but she is getting some beautiful, like, warm orange money pieces in the front. We're going to do the back half a lovely warm, like, wine color. I shouldn't even say warm. It's going to be more of a cool wine color because we're going to actually use red wine, which is more of a cool toned dye. So she would have wine colored hair with pink money pieces. This lovely girl right here, I did go with her minty green colored eyes. She's gonna get minty green hair. Her hair's not quite center parted. If it was, I probably would try to do the thing that I did with that one Daphne, where it was like half brown, half chocolate. But even then, doing her hair just like a nice minty color, I might go back and get her that same dress that I had for my mint chocolate Daphne and just put it on her, because it would probably be extra cute. As far as fashion goes, she's my least favorite. Like, I really like the kind of little polo top, but these pants, ma'am is waiting for the flood, because it is coming. The shoes aren't really doing it for me either. Like, the second pair, way better. Like, these are really cute, and it has just kind of the plain t-shirt, which, I mean, that's fine too. It looks cute. Maybe we can do something with it, maybe not. As far as this girl goes, these shoes, that lightning bolt, they're giving Frankie Stein vibes. They just need a proper paint job. I feel like this awkwardly sleeve length hoodie should go with the awkward leg length pants of the previous doll. The tennis skirt is cute. Like, I know they're really in right now. The boots are kind of cute. I feel like, again, them being in white's not really doing it for me, but they're alright. And this lovely chick right here, I really love her outfit. I like the top. I like the skirt. The little bow shoes are cute. And even the cute details on these sneakers, like the platform sneakers, is adorable. So, out of all of them, she's probably going to be my fave. She's coming a second, but only because her hoodie is really meh looking, and the shoes are kind of mid too. Alright, and then this girl's my least favorite, but only because it looked like her bangs actually aren't even bad. Like, I was expecting the worst, but the pants are so awful. Ugh. Ew, brother. Ew. Like, I don't know. Like, they're just so bad, and she's so gorgeous otherwise. Like, look at how beautiful her makeup is. The eye color is so nice. Like, I want to love her, but the pants, though. Alright, let's start opening them up and see what they're like out of the box. Okay, and of course you can see the artwork on the box. I'm not really giving them any of those colors, but if I were going to, it'd be this one. Alright, I'm pretty sure the back of the box is probably, yeah, about the same pictures. I don't know, like, I don't want to seem rude, but her hair, and maybe it's not, but it looks real photoshopped. Like, when people used to, back in the early days, like, do little Photoshop hair coloring, or like in-app hair coloring, so it was like obviously fake, but like It still looked kind of cool. It's like that. It's not giving. Her hair looks like, especially because it's in the braid, like they might have actually dyed it. But those colors seem a lot more vibrant than what I'm expecting to get. Alright, and here we go. The tinsel though. What a sad time. We'll see how thin her hair is before we talk about yanking it out. Because I don't actually mind tinsel for the most part. Especially if her hair is going to be mint. It's done in the sink. There's no hot water to make the tinsel kind of curl up or act wild. Man, like, who looked at that and thought, yeah, this is the outfit. This is the style. This is the moment. Like, ew. Alright, you guys, let's get them unboxed. So I did compare her to Poppy. The difference between their skin tone is a lot less noticeable with my S1 Poppy than it is with the more recent Fantastic Fashion Poppy, who she's much more yellow than. But also, her own face and body don't actually match. So that's a thing. So I did think that she would look better with this second pair of shoes. So I put them over here on her side. For this young lady right here, I swapped her shirt with the girl with the mint colored eyes. Just 'cause I feel like this is more tennis chic and it's very cute together. And then I gave her the lightning bolt sneakers because it just kind of felt like she was going to go off and play tennis and enjoy her day. And I thought this would be a cuter second pair of shoes for her. And then as far as making her a Bella, which I know a couple of people have thought to do, I actually have a Bella down here that I'm working on. It's the costume ball Bella. I am working on making her Fantastic Fashion dress. But I'm not a very good seamstress, so I've only got like a little bit of it done so far. Making those ruffles is really hard, folks. But here they are. It looks really close, honestly. In comparison to, oops, knocked the other one over. In comparison to like S1 Bella and like, S2 Bella, like S2 Bella is a lot more pink than I guess Costume Ball Bella is, because legit, like, the difference isn't that bad. Like, between these two, I think that she could end up becoming a very successful Bella, unless you were to sit her and S2 directly next to each other. Now, for the girl with the mint colored eyes, I actually gave her the hoodie top, and the sleeves don't, I guess, like with her arms down, they don't look as noticeably short. I am thinking of just making these pants into shorts, because there's no way that I would have any of my dolls wearing these like awkwardly wide-legged capris. I don't even know what they're supposed to be. I gave her the boots, but I don't know that that actually helps the pants not look so short. And I thought that like for a second pair of shoes, these ones would be really cute on her, but we'll see. Now, as far as the extras that they come with, of course, they all have their comb. They have these, I guess, like washable watercolors. Now, I know people were saying with the markers on the original Color and Create girls, basically if you didn't wash them out within like 24 hours, they were never coming out, that they would stain permanently. I don't know if that's the same case with these watercolor paints. Like, I'm willing to give them a try on like one of the little spare t-shirts or whatever. Probably not on their hair, because I actually care about how it turns out. But maybe. I just kind of worry that like it would, like I'd have to wait until the next day to dye them, and that's a lot. Anyway, so they all come with these applicators. The mint colored-eyed girl and the brown-eyed girl, theirs were both in packaging, but I noticed with purple-eyed girl, hers is just loose, no wrap around it. And they all do come with, there's a spare applicator up there, as well as the little spoon, the cup, the t-shirt. They come with a little set of stencils, lightning bolt, star, heart, a couple of rubber bands, and that's pretty much it as far as the extras go. All right, let's go ahead and get them ready for dyeing. Okay, one more close-up, and like, I'm not sure how noticeable it is in the video. Looking through the phone screen, it doesn't look noticeable like to any huge degree, but in person, even this more recent costume ball Bella is more pink toned, but it's especially noticeable in the body in person. I mean, in my phone screen right now, costume ball Bella's arm looks darker than the Color and Create doll. And that is how it is in person, but it also looks more of a peachy pink, whereas the Color and Create doll is a little more yellowy. So I guess it would really boil down to, she could make a good slime Bella if they're not going to give us one, but I guess it would depend on how much it would bother you that she's not quite an accurate skin color for her. Alright, back to where we were. Okay, this is just really quick before I dye them. I made shorts. My hand sewing's not that great, and I'm still learning the machine, which is why Bella's dress is taking so long. But I made shorts, and they're way cuter than the pants, at least for me. Oops, she doesn't know how she feels apparently. But since she flopped over, they look cute with these shoes too. Just to show you guys, so her knees are like a different color. She's got the marks where they demolded her, but like, I don't know if my camera will pick them up. She's got a lot of other marks on her legs. I'm talking like, you know, just swirl marks. Like, I don't know what this is. Let's see if I can zoom in. There we go. Like, it's just like a random discoloration. And then, like, oh, that's not, like, at first I thought, is there a hair on her? But no, it's almost like a weird, like if a hair was stuck in the mold and then someone pulled it out before it dried kind of thing. It's on the other leg too. So just something to watch out for if you happen to order her and that's something that you're picky about. I guess with her pants on you wouldn't see it. Real quick, let's take off her shirt and check her elbows. Okay, I don't know if you can see it on camera, but her arms are actually darker than her legs. But, like, I guess at least her elbows are the same color as her arms. Again, a lot of that kind of swirling and weird marks as though she had, like, hair stuck in her mold. I don't know. Like, it almost looks like cracks or whatever, but it's not, sorry. I was not trying to show you her bottom while saying that. Although, that worked out lovely. But, yeah, so it just looks almost like cracks or whatever. But in person, it's just like a weird, swirly, I don't know. It's nothing too terrible. Like, it'll probably be covered up in whatever I dress her in. I don't see the same in her head mold. She's got some gel marks on her face. Which those are their own thing with MGA. She doesn't even really feel like she has gel in her hair, except towards the ends. Alright, moving on. Okay, it's super cute that their underpants are like their skin tone color. They are adorably precious, and we're gonna go dye them now. Okay guys, really quickly I want to talk about some prep, but I also wanted to talk about these, which I hadn't mentioned before. Well, I did a little. With her, like, why is the blue part of her shoe look so well covered, but then the pink looks really splotchy, and the yellow kind of does too, honestly. But then, like, if you look, her skirt, I mean, looks a little uneven right there in that blue layer. But for the most part, her skirt and her hair look like it took really, really well. Minus, like, the braid has white spots. But then that makes me wonder, this is a liquid. Is there a reason why it's not penetrating the hair very well? Question mark? Anyway, also, like, her shirt having that pattern is really awesome. But I don't know. I'm not really sure if it would do that. I guess we're gonna see. I really would love to make one of these, like little tie-dye shirts. But the shirts are so small, even if you followed like normal tie-dye directions. I mean, certainly you'd have to dab it, I guess, to get that. But, and it's weird that you could use it in your own hair. I guess if you sweat, it's probably going to run down your face, though. I guess I wonder, like, as small as the shirts are, can you tie them well enough to get that? We're going to try. I've already got one tied up. I'll show you when we get in the kitchen, but we're going to try. All right, so the next one. Her hair honestly looks photoshopped. Her skirt looks like it didn't take the dye near as well as the top, which, I mean, they're different fabrics, honestly. The hair, the clothes, they're all different fabrics, so they're not likely to take the dye the same as each other. So with the shoes, like the shoes on her look really spotty as well. So I feel like for a collector, this is probably not going to be good enough. Like, it might be fun to play around with once or twice, wash it out really quickly, but you're probably going to want to dye it with actual dye at some point, or paint it, or leave it white, whatever. I feel like this isn't a long-term solution, obviously. I mean, I guess that's dumb. That's really obvious. All right. These shoes look kind of bunked up, honestly. Like, the shoes just don't look like they're taking this dye very well, which makes me wonder, like, if you left it on there, would it stain? Would it just rub off with your hands eventually, or get on your hands? Like, the shoes don't take dye very well. I mean, they can with dye more, but it does stain the doll's feet over time, so I don't know if that's a route anybody wants to take. So I feel like in that long term, the shoes are better off just staying white. Otherwise, they're going to just get, like, perma-stained and look gross eventually, or maybe you could paint them. But I'm not sure if you dyed them like this, if you could paint over it, if that would hold long term. I mean, obviously these just came out, so long-term implications, even with the last set, are kind of hard to read at this point. The pants, I mean, I guess they're supposed to be splotchy. They're supposed to have squares in the middle, which I don't know. Like, did they just put something square over it? Because the stencil has a square cutout, but that would allow you to put dye inside the square, not around it in the same way. I'm kind of curious about that. Does the collar not take dye? I mean, it looks like they got a little bit. I don't know how well I can zoom. Okay. It looks like they got a little bit around the edges. So maybe it takes the dye. Kind of curious about that. I wonder why they just didn't put dye on top of her head. I mean, I know the tensil's not going to take dye, but needless to say, this stuff makes me curious. So I did do the prep work for her. Taking her braid out was super easy. She's the only one with gel. And I'm going to see if I can you see that texture? Like, see how it looks like, I don't know, dusty or dry, or over here under the light. Yeah, there you go. You can kind of really see it. There. This stuff shreds their hair. Like, whatever this gel is that they put in, sometimes they have so much in there, it won't really come out. It makes the hair long-term awful feeling. And that almost cost me an interest in Rainbow High altogether, because the first doll I got was S1 Amaya. She had so much gel in her hair that it shredded it forever. And even after I got it out, it left her hair feeling incredibly greasy. I had a Diamante not that long ago that had so much gel in there that, like, it did this kind of weird texture. But even after I scrubbed it multiple times, shampooed, conditioned, left it in long periods, whatever, it stayed like this. And so I tried dyeing it to see if that helped, and it literally, like, the dye flaked off from the gel. So we're gonna give these girls a thorough wash. This one, her rubber bands were kind of a pain to get out. They were kind of tangly, but she's fine. Her hair doesn't even feel like it has gel in it. Getting washed anyway. Better safe than sorry. Now for her, as you can see, all of her tinsel is out. Literally, her scalp is so thin, even before I took the tinsel out, like, you could just see straight through her hair. And like, her bangs have these weird looking spots on the ends of them. Like, honestly, if you saw this in human hair, you would think head louse eggs, but it's not that, obviously. It's just, I guess, whatever the hair is made out of causing that. It looks really weird. Her bangs are very unfortunately front row rooted, so, and for a couple of rows back. There's no removing those bad boys without having a bald spot and needing to reroot. Now the weird thing is the rooting pattern is excellent. All the rooting holes are very close together, like there's no big gaps, but they're using so little hair in each hole that it's just very thin. I mean, still better than, you know, some of the other doll brands out there. Just wanted to point that out for people who are picky. As far as the tinsel, I literally just wrapped my finger around a couple of strands and very gently pulled, and it just came popping out. Like, it practically just fell out of her head. I didn't even use tweezers or anything. I was able to just barely tug with my fingers. And I mean barely. All right, now that we've got everything kind of prepped, we're gonna go wash their hair. We have our basket of goodies here. We're gonna try some dye on stuff, see how it works out. Let's go explore. Okay, so I've got everybody's hair washed. We're ready to start experimenting. We have all our clothes laid out here. I did this shirt and a tie-dye fold with some clear rubber bands wrapped around it so we can try to get a true tie-dye shirt experience. I've got a second shirt and stencils so we can see how that works out. And then we've got all the other clothes and shoes. We've got all of our colors, our water, a paper plate to lay stuff on, and doll hair. Nope. Paper plate to lay stuff on so it doesn't leak onto the table. Our sponge, brush, and spoon. And yeah, we're ready to go. Also, Sausage, it's his birthday this month. He was born at the end of June. We adopted him in early August, so we normally celebrate his birthday then. But Chewy always sends us like a cute little birthday card every year for his birthday. And he turns 6 this year, so he's our big boy. All right, so really quickly, these have like a little plastic thing on them. Oh my goodness. There we go. Sorry, even unwrapping that, like it still hurts really badly right here from like having my surgery. But my right hand hasn't healed as well as my left hand. So I have to be careful which hand I use to do what. Alright, so really quickly, let's figure out how to get the lid off. Are we pulling? Oh, okay. It's a pull and it's a shaker. So we're gonna take the foil off. So I guess you just I feel like this is gonna take a while. Stir it a little. Obviously we're gonna need a lot more than that. Wow, okay. Alright, let's see. Got thing here. Oh, nice. Okay, because honestly, that's what we're working with. It would have taken forever to tap all that out. It's like making lemonade. Okay, we're getting somewhere. That was a lot, oopsie, but that's fine. Yellow is not a very saturated color, so I'd rather have too much than not enough. It still just kind of looks like watered down lemonade. I feel like that's not going to do much. At this point, we've used almost half a container. Alright, we're going to keep going until we get something that resembles yellow, or until it just seems like this is as good as it's going to get. I mean, it kind of looks like if somebody put a few drops of lemonade into a thing of milk, honestly. Like, that's where we're at. But let's try it with our stencil shirt, I guess. Alright, we're just gonna go, since we're doing yellow, with this lovely star stencil. I don't know, like, does it leak through? Because as we just saw in the pictures, it doesn't look like it. Should I spread the shirt out like this? Maybe, I mean, that might help anyway, so it lays flat, but then it's gonna make the stencil, like, I guess, there we go. Alright, so I'm guessing we just take this bad boy, dab him in here. It's weird. So the only spot that has color is one spot that looks like I didn't stir enough, and it was like a chunk. Okay. Alright, so I suppose next color I'm gonna start with a lot less water so that we get, I mean, I probably don't need this much yellow. I don't know what I thought I was gonna do with that all, but here we go. Let's at this one I kind of just want to daub on the powder chunks so at least I'm getting some color. Gosh, if I were a kid trying this, I'd be like questioning why it's not working. Alright, and ta-da! Yeah, gross. I'm gonna go wash this out. You know what? Maybe I'll just keep this one and we'll try a different color. Maybe we'll mix some colors. Oh wait, oop. I put the lid back on but forgot to put the little trapdoor guy back in. Oop. Oh, I have them on backwards. Kinda? There we go. Alright, let's try some orange. So I've already taken the plastic off of most of these, but I hadn't opened them, so I didn't know about all of this. So there we go. This is alright, I'm gonna go ahead and put this back on so I'm just knocking it over. Doesn't really look very different. Luckily I have 3 whole dolls worth of this, and since I always buy double, I'll have even more coming. Yay. That's the thing, like, I mean, I don't mind play sets, and I imagine they're really great for kids, but when you're an adult collector, especially if you don't plan on doing any of this stuff, unless it's for like YouTube videos or whatever, you just end up with a bunch of junk that you wasted your money on that you don't want. I mean, I've got like loads of it in my storage building. Alright, you guys are seeing it. I've put a ton of orange in there. Am I doing it wrong? Question mark? It's not really stirring. It's staying kind of clumpy and weird. I don't know, you guys. Like, the clumps are giving me more color than the actual liquid. Maybe that's how you're supposed to do it? Look, I'm sure this came with directions, and I'm also sure that I didn't read them. I probably threw them away when I opened the box. So, somebody let me know if I'm just doing this terribly wrong. Like, am I supposed to maybe just do that? Does that work since the clumps are what's giving me color? Not really. Not that either. Not even with it directly on the shirt. Yikes. I should have probably like Googled it and like looked up how other people did it maybe. I'm gonna do that right quick because at this point, like, this thing is loaded with powder. And it's really pretty. Like, look. It's like a shimmery looking whatever. but the color is not happening at all. Like, do I have to put the whole thing in there? All right, give me a second, you guys. I'm gonna go check this out. Okay, I took a few seconds to watch someone else's video, and they tried a couple of different techniques, and it was the same issue I'm having. It was the same way on the hair, on the other pieces of clothes, on the shoes. It's just really faint. So your doll is not gonna look anything at all like the pictures on the box. Well, I mean, I guess that's good to know. So don't get your hopes up if you're buying these for your kids. Don't get their hopes up. Yeah, real exciting, MGA. Real exciting. So yeah, even using some of the more, like, I guess, darker, richer colors, and putting it on directly, the stencils pretty much did nothing. They didn't hold their shape. It was just as messy and awful in the doll's hair as it was on the clothes, and just as light. Like, it didn't seem to matter what anybody used it on or how they used it. It was not great. Like, I mean, the purple being the darkest color, it still really didn't do much. Yeah, I don't know, you guys. That just looks sloppy and messy. So it's gonna get washed and whatever. But we said we were gonna do the thing. We're gonna do the thing. I don't know that this is gonna work very well, but I'm just gonna put a whole bunch of sprinkles on and then drop some water on it. See if we can't get some kind of tie-dye. Maybe. But this orange isn't even very bright. Like, it'd be a pastel orange no matter what you were looking at. So we'll use 2 colors, then 2 colors, and 2 colors. Give me a second to get fresh water. All right. I'm just gonna spoon some out. Most of it's just wash them off. Like, it's not even absorbing into the fabric or doing anything. This is definitely a rip. Like, as a kid, I'd be so disappointed, and it's like super messy. I'm really glad I put down a paper plate and didn't just like expect the colors to stay. I'm gonna try to do something. This looks so gross. It just looks like grainy snot. But not only that, but like, okay, so when the shirt dries, like, assuming that this stuff has made any kind of mark at all, I'm assuming it's not going to stain your doll because it doesn't look like it's dark enough, rich enough, pigmented enough to do so. But like, if you wanted to keep the shirt and not wash the color out, would it even work like this? I mean, I don't know. I feel like it's not really doing very much. It's not giving at all. Alright, and then I guess we'll turn it on the side and try to do a bit of blue and green, since we haven't really used those two yet. But as of right now, it's really looking like, unless your kid just loves making a mess, and kids do, okay? Let's not deny. Kids, for the most part, not all, but most kids love making mess. Like, that's the joy of being a child. Yes, Sausage, I hear you. Hi. It's probably not the best time for you to want to get up here, is it? It's not going to stop you at all, huh? But most of this looks like it's just gonna straight go in the trash. Like, literally go in the trash, because it's not doing anything. It's giving nothing. It's giving you wasted your dollars. Okay, so let's... And it's not like you can really rinse it, but it's got like this really snot texture. So I guess I'm just gonna like, do I set it aside for it to dry? Look at how awful this is. I'm just gonna, yeah, that's, oh, it's really snotty feeling. Like, it makes you want to rinse it, but if you rinse it, then the color comes out. So what did you even do? I'm not, look, I'll try it on a shoe. Just to say we did. But I'm not about to put this in my doll's hair. I'm not about to like put it on any of the other like nicer clothes. They're going straight in the dye. And this is what it does on a shoe. Nada. No, sir, you cannot eat this. Go on. Go on. What are you doing, handsome man? Yeah, even Sausage is like not impressed with this. He sniffed at it and then instead came over here and tried to knock over the lamp. Yeah, this is what it's giving on the shoe. What do you want, sir? What do you, I can't touch you because I need to dye stuff on you. Not that it'll show up. Okay, he needed his momentary affections. So I'm gonna give it a second, pet him, clean up this mess, and we'll get to actually dyeing stuff. So we're gonna start with this lady right here with her mint green eyes. We're gonna use a blend of a tiny bit of aquamarine and some lemon yellow to make mint. As far as dyeing the clothes, we're gonna try it. But if you guys remember the last time I tried to dye color and create clothes, they don't really take the dye that easily, especially the pants. Even boiling them for a long period of time, it just really didn't do much of anything. I probably have more faith in the hoodie just because it seems more like a cotton, whereas the pants are more like synthetic. But let's go give it a try and see. We're just gonna do a basic hot tap water in a stainless steel sink. If you don't have a stainless steel sink, use an old cook pan that you don't cook in anymore or are not going to use to cook in the future, because if you have a regular sink, it will stain your sink. So there is that. As far as the ratio of water to dye, I've never really been able to give out like exact measurements because I just kind of pour it by eye from experience, even when I wasn't experienced. So there's that. But also it varies on the capacity of your sink, which, I mean, I can't really measure the water there. I can tell you what size pot I'm using, but then I just kind of pour the dye in until it looks right. This, because it's going to be a very pastel color, we're only using a super small amount of dye. I'm talking less than a half a cup, maybe a quarter cap of the aquamarine, if that. And then enough yellow until it turns into a mint green, which again will vary by the amount of water you're using. So let's go give it a shot. She's gonna be first just because I'm the most excited about dyeing her. All right, let's go. Okay guys, you want the water to come out this clear green color. Like, I pour the dye in by hand a little tiny bit at a time to make sure that the water stays translucent. I've already put the hoodie and the shorts in, but I need to press them down and make sure they stay. I dipped the shirt in first, like this extra t-shirt that we washed the other stuff out of. And you can't tell with the flash on right now, but it is showing a mint green color. Although to you it probably just looks white. So I'm going to let it sit in there for as long as possible until I'm 100% sure. You can kind of see it here. I wanted to make sure with that shirt as a tester that it was coming out green and not blue or yellow. These are also starting to look kind of minty. But worst comes to it, what I would do is, if you're doing this in a pot, or just take like a plastic cup and scoop it into one of your dye pots, and maybe heat it up. If you've left it in here for, 10-15 minutes and it's not looking like it's taking, boiling it might help it get to like a pastel. Okay, so I've got this lovely lady here. Her hair's not going to be in here for very long. Like, we want it to be a slight pastel mint color. It should not take very long to reach that color. Yeah, okay, so I'm going to flip her over and get her bangs. which I'll have to set my phone down for that, but it's not really worth recording. And rinse some of the excess dye out of her hair to make sure it doesn't end up too dark. Okay, so now of course her hair is going to dry lighter than it looks here, but it looks mint. The hoodie, okay, it looks white with mint sleeves in this light, like on my phone, but in person it looks really mint. So do the shorts. The t-shirt it's vaguely mint-ish, it's very light, and all these things are probably going to dry lighter than they look, especially the hair. It always does. So we're going to wait and see how that goes, but really quickly. So, sorry, I had to sort that. Alright, so I already had this shirt tied up to dye with the garbage. So what I did was I used this pen tool with the little spongy tip that came with it. I used two of them, one for the yellow, orange, and like pink, one for purple, blue, and green. And I took each side of the sponge and tapped it just to like the little extra dye that's on the lid of the dye bottle. And then I got it nice and wet under hot water, then under cold water. I'm gonna rinse it some more, but I thought if I've already got it tied up for tie-dye, let's tie-dye it. So here it is under the light. You can see all the colors. And I just kind of tapped a little bit on each little area. So I'm gonna rinse that a bit more. We're gonna give it some time to dry, undo it, and see where it takes us. Next we're gonna do the orange girl. I'm gonna do her whole head orange because for the brown, we're going to use Ritz dark brown, and it has a green base. So we're gonna need something to kind of offset that. But moreover, I'm doing her whole head orange so that you guys who were thinking maybe should make a good slime poppy, which, like I said, I mean, she's a little yellowy, but you'll be able to see if it would actually work or not. So, what do you think? Would she make a good poppy? I think she really would. I feel like her makeup is pretty close to slime poppy, honestly. Alright, I'm going to finish dunking around that hairline right quick. Okay, so here's the color I used. And here she is kind of as a poppy replacement. You just need some gold glitter or whatever on her forehead. Alright, let's go do the pink on the other doll before we add the brown to this one's hair. Oh, for the tie-dye, like, even Rit dye really didn't stick to this shirt. And that's like smearing it on. So I feel like these shirts are very similar to the last batch of clothes where it just doesn't do anything. Alright, for this third young lady, we're going to start off with some petal pink. Now, personally, because of a Bella I did once, I added like literally 2 drips of wine, like a very, very tiny, minuscule amount, which already is what you're adding with the rose pink. So I'm going to... Now, she has curls, so we're going to pay a lot of attention to make sure that her curls are getting saturated. But I found that with Bella, her hair is kind of a dusty color versus a pure pink. Hence why I added that tiny bit of wine. I'm going to get her hair the color I want, the front pieces, which this is just about it. I'm going to put a little more in there just to make sure I saturate all the curls. And then we'll see what she would look like as a Bella stand-in before we do the back half of her hair. Okay, as far as would they make good stand-ins, not bad, honestly. For her hair, it's a little bright, but it's going to dry slightly duller than this. I haven't really compared it to my actual Bella to see how close it is. This in person is so close to Poppy's actual orange. I think the only thing you'd have to do is keep some streaks out to add some petal pink pieces, since Poppy's actual hair is a mixture of orange and pink. I know on camera it doesn't show up exactly like it does in person, so that's definitely a thing to keep in mind. But in person, this is really close to Poppy's orange, like pretty spot on. So I'm going to prep them to get the back of their head done by taking a toothpick and dividing where the money pieces are going to be and pulling those money pieces, the framed pieces around the face, out of the way so that the color for the back of their hair doesn't get on. Now, I did do the clothes I want for her orange. I'm about to do the clothes I want for her in the pink dye. I mean, I could boil them, but if it's anything like the last ones, they really didn't come out much darker. These are still more orange than what they look like on camera, but not by a whole lot. So just something to consider if you're going to dye these clothes. They're pretty much like the first color in Create clothes. They really just don't even take the dye that well. However, these took the mint beautifully, like, but again, all of these fabrics are different. They're not all the same fabric, so just something to keep in mind. Okay, you guys, the front of her hair is done. We're gonna do the back in a nice wine dip. So here we go. And I'll probably put my phone down because in order to make sure all the curls up to that line of money piece bang area are saturated all the way through, because curly hair can be kind of hard. I'm probably gonna need both hands, so give me just a minute. All right, and now we're gonna work with the red to dark brown, and we're gonna take Miss Potential Poppy clone here, going with the back of her hair. I've got her skirt in there because I've got her shirt orange already-ish. I did take the dye better than the skirt, so I'm hoping the skirt will take the darker color better. And I'm gonna set my phone down while I finish up the edges of her hair. Okay, you guys, here they are completed, and I love them. They're really cute. I'm gonna show you some of the changes I made. So, Mint Girl, I think it kind of now shows up on my phone. Not as good as it does in person, but it is actually mint. This one, even doing the dye, like it really it's not giving much of anything at all. But the mint hair, the mint eyes, the mint clothes, honestly, all she needs is a pair of Daphne shoes. And honestly, she's got white on her shirt. She could just wear some of the white shoes and they'd probably still be cute. I love her the way she is. I had to let her shirt soak for a really long time. The skirt actually took the dye really quickly. The back was a little on the light side, so I added some eggplant in with that wine to darken it up. Again, just in that same sink wash. She's gonna need some cute like Bella heels or something like that. And this lovely lady right here, neither her skirt nor her hair were really doing much with the brown, and the shirt hadn't taken the orange very well. So I boiled some of that leftover orange dye and put her shirt in it so that it would do the thing. And then I actually took the brown because it wasn't getting dark enough, and I boiled that as well just to get a darker, richer brown for more contrast. And then I tossed her skirt in there. You can see it's got a couple of little tiny splatter spots, but it's still okay. I am gonna go find these lovely ladies some shoes and then set them on the shelf. And I'd like to say, yeah, they're done. They're good. I'll probably post pictures on my Instagram here soon if you guys want to see more of them. But until then, I'm gonna go put them on the shelf to hang out. Alright, you guys, thanks for joining me on this very fun video. And I'd love to know what you think, if you like how the colors turned out, if there's choices you would have made differently, etc. Definitely let me have all your thoughts down in the comments, and I'll see you guys next time.